Patreon gang, we are back in the building, okay? Today we have the elements in astrology. I don't have any notes or anything. So this is pretty much just me going off the top of my head. So let's just flow with this, all right? So when you talk about the elements in astrology, you have fire, earth, air, and water. It always goes in that cycle, okay? In that pattern. Fire, earth, air, water, okay? There's 12 zodiac signs, all right? So there are 3 of each element within the zodiac wheel, okay? So there's 3 fire, 3 earth, 3 air, 3 water. So if you hear footsteps, that's my dogs, all right? So you have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Then you have Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, okay? Fire, earth, air, water. And then you have Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and then Pisces, all right? So, fire and air will always be masculinely polarized, all right? So, fire and air are the 2 masculine or the 2 positive elements. And then, when you get to earth and water, they are the 2 feminine elements, okay? So, when you talk about fire, right? What is fire? Matter of fact, no. Before I get into that, I want to get into the modalities, okay? So the polarities are masculine and feminine, like I just said, all right? But each single zodiac sign has a modality, either cardinal, mutable, or fixed, okay? Each group of elements, so let's say fire signs, right? You have Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. In each group of the elemental signs, they all have their own modality, okay? So let's say the water signs. Cancer is cardinal. Pisces is mutable. Scorpio is fixed. And then for the earth signs, Taurus is fixed. Capricorn is cardinal. And then Virgo is mutable. And then for the air signs, Libra is cardinal, Gemini is mutable, and then Aquarius is fixed. So we all know that we have 3 signs that share the same element. But what differentiates these 3 signs are the modalities, okay? So let's talk about Aries. Matter of fact, no, let's talk about fire in general. Fire in general, right? So what is fire? Fire dances. Fire is light. Fire, you have to ignite fire. Once you light it, it's warm, okay? Once you have fire, you can light a torch. You can hand it to somebody else. You can light their torch up for them. You have lighters, you have torches, you have campfires, you have wildfires. You can catch on fire. When you say, I'm hot right now. When you say, I feel like I just want to burst into a bowl of flames. When you say that, oh, she's on fire right now, okay? All of those characterize the fire element, okay? Fire is hot. Fire is warm. Fire gives life. Fire gives light, okay? Fire enables certain animals to live because without warmth, you can't really survive like that, okay? So, fire also dances in the wind. Fire is light. Fire is upbeat, okay? So, when you talk about the fire signs, they all share these fiery characteristics, but in different modalities, okay? Since Aries is the cardinal fire, cardinal means starting and initiating and creating. They're going to start, initiate, and create fire, okay? So when we talk about characteristic archetypes, fire would represent being more expressive, being more upbeat, okay? Being more warm, being a warm personality, or being a hothead, all right? Or being easily angered, okay? So Aries is the first. They're the cardinal, the initiator, the creator. So they are going to create expressions. This is also why Aries are hotheads, okay? Because Any one thing can set their fire off like that, okay? Aries is a spark. When you think of Aries, think of a spark. That's exactly what they are. Because when you have initiating fire, that's what a spark is, all right? So even when I make these metaphors, you can still tie it to real life, practical, realistic shit that you can actually see. Like cardinal, which is initiating, and then you have fire. That's a spark. That's an ignition. That's when you turn the key in the car and the engine starts igniting, okay? That's what it is. So that's what Aries are. They are the spark. They are the first. They are the enabler, okay? Aries enables whatever situation they're in. So a lot of times Aries want to be first, and then Aries are looked at as the example, okay? So a lot of times Aries can have warm personalities, but they may burn you like that, okay? And it's so quick, it's so passionate, it's so fast that a lot of times Aries don't take a second to think. They act first and then think later because they start expressions, okay? That's first. And then Aries is also the first sign. So they're going to be first in their fire. They're going to be first to blow up. They're going to be the first to crack a joke. They're going to be the first to compete. They're going to be the first to express, okay? So that's cardinal fire. Then you have mutable fire. When you talk about mutable, it's about being relatable. It's about sharing. It's about connecting. It's about reaching out. It's about being adaptable, okay? So when you talk about adaptable, mutable fire, which is Sagittarius, a mutable fire sign, when you talk about mutable fire, that's like me coming to you with my torch and then lighting your torch for you, okay? Or that's like me asking you to light my blunt for me or light a cigarette for me, okay? That's mutable. That's the fire that we can all share, okay? So a lot of times Sagittarius, they like inspiring other people for the sake of relating, okay? All fire signs share that inspiration trait because motivation and inspiration, that's like a fiery emotion. Passion is very fiery, but they all do it in different ways. Aries do it because they're the first and that's their focal point. And then people get inspiration off of that. Sagittarius, they're more so hands-on with their motivation and their inspiration. So they may relate to you one-on-one and then light a fire in you personally. So the fire that we all share, they're a little bit more easygoing. They're a little bit more free-flowing. They're a little bit more understanding. They're a little bit more compromising than Leo or Aries because they are the relatable fire. So this is also what makes them understand people a little bit more, because they're the fire that we share, okay? A lot of times Sagittarius are absolutely generous also. Sagittarius are very generous people. So, but at the same time, being mutable means that it's not only about the self, okay? The cardinal is more about the self because it just wants to initiate. The fixed is more about the self because it's just fixed in one spot. But mutable is like, this is for all of us, okay? So a lot of times Sagittariuses may feel glossed over, or they may feel like they have to balance their generosity a lot, okay? I'm probably not going to get into the planetary rulers, but Jupiter also plays a part in this. But I'm going to save that for another video. I'm just going to talk about the modalities and the elements right here. So a lot of times, Sagittarius need to learn how to balance being generous and just focusing and like setting boundaries on what they give and what they don't give. So all fire signs are naturally competitive because that's a fiery thing, just competition, motivation, fire and passion. That's naturally a fiery thing, but Sagittarius are a lot more relatable. They're not all about the self as much as Aries, okay? Then, when you get to the fixed fire would be like a campfire. A fixed fire. That's like a fireplace, okay? Perfect example, a fireplace. Leos are known as being in the spotlight, being the performers, being the entertainers. If you have a fire stuck in one spot, like a campfire or like a fireplace, this is the fire that everybody can come and watch. This is the fire where we grab our marshmallows, we grab our graham crackers, we grab the chocolate, and we make some s'mores, and we sit down and we have a good time. This is that fire that we all sit around and get entertained by. So a lot of times this is why Leos are like entertainers of the zodiac. Fixed fire can also burn for too long, okay? So it's like Leos, they may feel like they need to captivate attention to the point where it gets like unrelatable. So it's like if you see a fire burning for too long, it's like, all right, I'm getting tired of this fire. And then people just start naturally walking away. The fire's not as bright anymore. The fire's not as warm. It's not as entertaining anymore. So a lot of times Leos may overexhaust their expressions for attention when you just got to be a little bit more relatable and adaptable like a Sagittarius, okay? And all fire signs can learn from each other. All elements can learn from each other, all right? This is also what makes Leos very good at staying focused, because being fixed is about being fixed, being focused, being stuck, okay? So this is what makes him a little bit more stable than the other two fire signs, okay? But they may be more prone to holding grudges because they are fixed. When you have fixed expressions, they may get really hard-headed at times, okay? And then this also plays into the sun with the ego, but whatever. No planetary rulers for right now. So they can be stuck on their own expressions to the point where they don't care about how you see things. They only care about their expressions, okay? And they may not be as combative as an Aries because the Aries wants to be first. The Leo is more so just stuck on its own and on its own expressions. So they may not be as combative, but they're a lot more arrogant and hard-headed in terms of being open to others' opinions. But it depends, though. It really depends on the rest of the chart with that one. But Leos are very good at fixating on one vision. So a lot of times, Leos have this grandiose, big picture of where they want to be. And they will dedicate their life to that, okay? Whether they actually take enough actions to reach that, that's a whole different story. But internally, in their head, they're dedicated and they're fixated to making that vision manifest, okay? So a lot of times Leos want to leave a legacy. They like the greats. They like the Michael Jordans. They like the Kobe Bryants. They like the Tom Bradys. They like the Tony Woods. That's his name, right? Yeah, they like the Tony Woods. They like the best, okay? This is why Leos like the best, because their vision, they have a vision of a legacy. And then with their fixed fire, they're going to fixate on that. So that's all they want to see. If it's not the pinnacle, if it's not the best, Leos don't really like it. Leos don't really like being second like that. But it's a little bit more acceptable of second place more than an Aries. Just as long as that just as long as they got their own spotlight, just as long as they're their own individual and they're seen as something that's great, they can live with that, okay? But I might even just separate I might separate the elements, bro. Cause this is 15 minutes. If I do fire, earth, air, and water, this shit might be a good hour. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't like talking that long, bro. My Saturn and my North Node is in Gemini, so like I like getting in and getting out, bro. I don't like talking for too long. But yeah, that's the difference between the fire signs, all right? AKA the elements and the modalities.